like you get out of that bubble to make somebody a real boxer?
I mean, what he's doing is, I mean, kind of cool. If he can continue to steal money and they match him the way they match him, I can't knock his hustle. So if they can match him the way how they've been matching him.
I haven't seen Gervonta Davis in another sexual assault allegation, lawsuits incoming, potentially criminal charges levied. We don't know yet, but we know that fight is up in the air, and I think that fight's not going to happen, and they're going to either have to move the fight back or they're going to have to look to a replacement or both. I don't know.
This fight is still technically scheduled for November 14th to air on Netflix, but it's basically hanging on by a thread. But the team, Jake Paul's team, have reportedly gone and contacted all the fighters, and the names that they're looking at contacting to fight as a late...
Floyd Mayweather has once again set the boxing world ablaze, calling out Jake Paul following the cancellation of Gervonta Tank Davis fight due to ongoing legal troubles. Mayweather didn't mince words. He declared that this time, if a fight with Jake happens, it will be a real professional bout, not another exhibition. He made it clear he won't move up in weight or wait for anyone signaling his readiness for a legitimate showdown. The bold call-out instantly sent shockwaves through the fight. Community with fans buzzing over whether Floyd is truly planning a genuine comeback to the professional ring.
But at the time, people badly wanted you and Jake Paul to fight. Is he someone you're interested in or no?
Well, if you go back, you got to do your homework, look on the internet. I think he was doing a sit down on a podcast one time, and he talked about it. He said, I don't want to do an exhibition against Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
He said, I'm only doing real fights. And of course, I can't get up high in weight, but I'll fight him in a real fight at the weight that I'm at. But Jake Paul, I mean, as of right now, for what he's doing, it's good for what he's doing. But once he fights a real fighter, it's going to be bad.
Have you been impressed?
But one thing I like about him, one thing I do like about him, he's selling it. He's selling it, and he's making good money.
Due to the civil lawsuit and the resulting investigation, Davis' much-hyped exhibition against Jake Paul has officially been canceled. His promoter, Most Valuable Promotions, announced that given the gravity of the allegations, they have chosen not to move forward with the event while the matter is under legal review.
The situation, it was supposed to be boxing Gervonta Tank Davis, a man that weighs 133 pounds or 135. Regardless, it's a man that is way, way smaller than Jake Paul. So that is just ridiculous, and I've given my thoughts on that before anyway. But now it turns out that Gervonta Davis has some allegations about domestic abuse. I don't know too much about the situation, but apparently Netflix have pulled the plug on that fight. It says, here's a tweet I'm reading from Mike Coppinger. As reported, Jake Paul's return could shift to December with the November 14th Netflix exhibition in jeopardy due to the latest allegations against Gervonta Davis. Sources tell Ring Magazine that December 12th and the 19th...
Court documents reveal that Gervonta Davis is facing a civil lawsuit filed by his former girlfriend, Courtney Roselle, over an alleged incident that occurred on October 27th at the Miami nightclub where she works. The lawsuit accuses Davis of battery, aggravated battery, false imprisonment, kidnapping, and infliction of emotional distress. According to the filing, Davis allegedly assaulted and dragged her through multiple parts of the venue, including the stairwell, kitchen, and parking garage. Authorities in Miami Gardens have confirmed that a criminal investigation is also underway running parallel to the civil case.
Boxing champion Gervonta Tank Davis faces new abuse claims from a woman who claims to be his ex-girlfriend. This is according to our media partner, the Baltimore Banner. Courtney Russell says she dated Davis for 5 months and recently filed a civil lawsuit accusing him of aggravated battery, false imprisonment, and other offenses. She claims Davis physically attacked her a number of times during their relationship. Russell claims the most recent incident was Monday at a Miami nightclub. Davis is scheduled to fight Jake Paul in Miami.
Chael Sonnen has also spoken out amid the growing chaos surrounding the canceled Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis fight. Sonnen revealed that he personally reached out to both camps to verify the truth, contacting representatives from Jake's side and Tank's team alike. Yet neither party offered him a clear answer. Their silence, Sonnen said, only fueled suspicions that something major was happening behind closed doors. He hinted that when both camps stay quiet, it usually means the issue runs deeper. Then scheduling, suggesting this cancellation may be tied to serious legal and promotional complications.
Tank has one job to do, which is to let anybody know that's listening that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport. My skills versus your skills, of which I have an abundance of and of which you have none of. My life's commitment and dedication versus a second or third or fourth thought in the world of priority on your list. And I used to believe those things. Now, I go back far enough in MMA that I've had my eyes open a number of times. The fact that karate was so incredibly useless, or the fact that Jeet Kune Do was so incredibly useless, like these were not things that I would have bet on when I was in high school. As a wrestler at that time, I would not have assumed that I would fare well in a fight against somebody that knew Kung Fu. We had all been falsely led through Hollywood. Not through competition, not through sport, not through understanding of the game, but just through Hollywood. We were told that those guys were the most dangerous guys. So, we then eventually get up to Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather, which had a weight discrepancy, but it was very small. I mean, I watched them weigh in, I want to say...
With Davis' fight now effectively off Floyd, Mayweather has stepped forward to call out Jake Paul himself. Mayweather, known for his blunt honesty, has been critical of Jake's boxing credentials, while he acknowledges Paul's entertainment value and business success. He stops short of calling him a real boxer. Floyd has gone as far as to say a fight against Paul would be too easy, implying Jake wouldn't offer much of a challenge for a world-class fighter. He believes that while Jake has carved out a lucrative niche, stepping in with an elite like him would expose the vast gap in skill, discipline, and experience.
There are many, many people who believe you're the most talented fighter ever, period. So whatever you say to this question, I think is important. Are you impressed? Does he have boxing ability, or is he just an entertainer who has a lot of fans and can promote a fight and has fought lesser opponents, or is he actually talented?
As long as he continues to fight MMA guys and YouTubers, he's gonna continue to look good and shine. But once he fights a real fighter, a real fighter that can really fight, it's not gonna be that good.
Does he have the ability, with what you've seen, to continue to mold himself into somebody who can actually? He told me before his goal is to fight Canelo, so that's where his mindset's at.
Mayweather's critics often recall his refusal to offer rematches, leaving fans with lingering what-ifs. In contrast, Jake Paul's record has largely been built against older or undersized opponents, fighters well past their prime or outside his weight class. Even so, Mayweather has praised Jake's ability to entertain while warning that the moment Paul faces a true professional, his weaknesses will be brutally exposed.
My second question is just with like Logan Paul and then Jake Paul now fighting Mike soon in the summer. What do you think defines a real boxer? Because I feel like people are still confused on if Jake Paul is a YouTuber boxer or a real boxer. How do you feel like you get out of that bubble to make somebody a real boxer?
What he's doing is, I mean, kind of cool. If he can continue to steal money and they match him the way they match him, I can't knock his hustle. So if they can match him the way how they've been matching him.
Meanwhile, analysts continue to celebrate Mayweather not only for his technical brilliance, but also for his psychological mastery. Fighters like Tony Jeffries have noted that Floyd's unmatched self-belief often gave him victory before the first punch was thrown. They argue that his mental composure, discipline, and unshakable confidence are what truly made him one of the most dominant figures in boxing history.
Instead, they're really confident, they really believe in themselves, but you need more than that mindset. You need to have the full package of everything that I'm talking about, what Floyd has got.
You fighters should only want to get better. The more you win, the more you should work hard. If you think about losing, you're going to lose. All I ever thought about was winning. So that's all I know.
Floyd would visualize his success before he even stepped into the ring. there was no alternative to him but winning. And this mindset isn't just for boxing, it's for all walks of life. And I've actually done a full video talking about how I used this mindset of visualization to win my Olympic medal. And it was an absolute game changer. Now, Floyd used to use this mindset to ease the pressure that he put himself under. And he made himself think like, I'm not under any pressure right now, where he was under immense pressure.
Pressure either makes you or break you. Well, you see where I'm at, so it's obvious that I'm the type of athlete or I'm the type of entertainer that can deal with pressure. There's never no pressure.
Now, if you watch his fight in 2013 when he fought Canelo Alvarez, Canelo came in a young, strong, undefeated fighter, but by round 2, Floyd kind of had him figured out. He was reading Canelo's jab. He would slip outside and then come back with a clean counter punch, then move his feet and get out of the way. He basically had the full fight under control, and he was controlling the full rhythm of the fight. He was forcing Canelo to fight at his pace. And this is what he would do in all of his fights. He would get his opponent to do what he wanted them to do without their opponent even realizing it, which is what we call boxing IQ. Now, even though I'm not a fan of Floyd Mayweather personally, because of the time when I did meet him, what he said to me made me just feel like this guy is a piece of shit. And
adding to the intrigue, new reports claim that Mayweather may also be pursuing a sensational matchup with Mike Tyson. Insiders suggest this isn't just about money. It's about legacy and attention. Analysts believe Floyd's rumored move is an attempt to reclaim the headlines and remind the world who still runs boxing, with the spotlight shifting to Davis and Jake Paul Floyd's potential clash with Tyson feels like classic Mayweather, a calculated bid to dominate the conversation once again. 2. Many this reflects a timeless theme in boxing, the struggle of legends to remain relevant as the sport evolves around them.
Many celebrities and so many people that are known where you can get somebody and they can sell tickets to events. That's what kicked off the social media influence boxing that Jake Paul was birthed from. Now we're in a vacuum. And so there's going to be a lot of conversation about that and continuing to do that. In this particular video, though, I want to get into the mind of Floyd Mayweather Jr. and why Floyd Mayweather Jr. would do this. There is the money, but there's also the competitive nature of Floyd Mayweather Jr. and him not wanting to have other people think that they're a bigger star than he is. Floyd Mayweather Jr. has not been able to really launch his star outside of the sport of boxing, so he continues to do exhibitions. Now, what I think is that Floyd Mayweather Jr. is announced it at this point in time with Mike Tyson in order to take advantage of the publicity heading into the Gervonta Davis, Jake Paul fight, which is, I do believe, set for November. So now that they have all the publicity and all that stuff coming out from that, he's going to piggyback on it and then try to have it in the beginning of next year sometime and actually make it a bigger event than Gervonta versus Jake Paul. And it probably will be. And the reason that I say that is because of Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is bigger than Floyd. Let me say Mike Tyson. I think Mike Tyson's bigger than Floyd Mayweather. I still think his name is bigger than Floyd Mayweather, even though I know Floyd has made more money in the pay-per-views. And I think that had a lot to do with, again, social media area and otherwise. But the combination of Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Mike Tyson and the question about whether...
In the aftermath of Davis' cancellation, Jake Paul's promotional team has been scrambling for alternatives. Reports suggest they're reaching out to several big names, including none other than Terrence Crawford as a possible replacement. Though discussions are said to be preliminary and unofficial, the idea of Jake stepping into the ring with a world champion like Crawford has stunned the boxing community. If it materializes, the matchup would instantly elevate Jake's credibility and generate massive global attention. For now, nothing's confirmed, but the rumor alone has already shifted the narrative and reignited the hype.
Technically scheduled for November 14th to air on Netflix, but it's basically hanging on by a thread. But the team, Jake Paul's team, have reportedly gone and contacted all the fighters, and the names that they're looking at contacting to fight as a late replacement. Ryan Garcia, Terence Crawford, Francis Ngannou, I mean, come on, we'll get into them, and Nate Diaz. So he's already fought Nate Diaz, but let's go through them one by one. I mean, Ryan Garcia, he's a similar size to Gervonta Davis. He's bigger though. Davis made him come down, didn't he? Then he beat him up. So that was Ryan Garcia. Quite a bad loss for Garcia, that was, because he was up for the fight, but Gervonta Davis beat Garcia. Garcia also isn't really big enough to be jumping in with Jake Paul, but that's a fight that potentially could happen. Garcia is a massive name. He's a big he's a social media star. He's a big public figure. Loads of followers on Instagram and social. I mean, his Instagram's over 1 million, I'm sure it is. He's just a big name, good-looking kid, great fighter, fast stands, and he's quite controversial as well. So that'd be a good fight, but the weight disparity, again, it's too big. So for me, when I say it'd be a good fight, it'd be interesting to see how Ryan Garcia would go in against Jake Paul, but to be honest, Jake Paul's far too big for him. Who else we got? Terence Crawford. I can't see Terence Crawford entertaining this, but then you never know, do you? If the old bunts make sense, then it makes people do strange things. And Terence Crawford's getting on now. What is he, 37, 38 years old? Had that great win against Canelo. Would he jump in with Jake Paul for mega money? Probably. He'd paced him as well. I mean, Terence Crawford would be too much for Jake Paul, even though he's up at 168 in his last fight, super middleweight, my old weight division. So I don't think Jake Paul would fight him. Francis Ngannou, I mean, why even chuck Ngannou in the mix? Ngannou would just hammer him. He's too big. I mean, he talked about Anthony Joshua. That never happened, did it? It's a load of bollocks. He talked about fighting AJ, then announced he's fighting someone the size of one of AJ's legs in Gervonta Davis. So for me, that's nothing. And the Nate Diaz fight, he's already fought him. It was a rubbish fight.
Even before the cancellation, critics were skeptical about the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis fight. Boxing legend Carl Froch dismissed it outright, calling it a rubbish fight with no real competitive value. Froch argued that Jake's limited boxing background couldn't hold up against Tank's proven skill set, and that the fight was more spectacle than sport. He warned that such mismatches undermine the integrity of professional boxing, saying fans deserve genuine contests, not celebrity-driven exhibitions.
Absolute clown world. Really fitting for fake Paul, the clown, because it's a clown show. You're putting him in with somebody who's 100 pounds lighter. I mentioned the weight disparity before. Getting on for 7 stone. It's a weight-governed sport. It should not be happening. He's too small, Gervonta Davis, against the big Jake Paul, who's in the gym a lot, training. Apparently he's fit and strong and he has a go and he can fight a little bit, which I disagree with because I don't think he can. He might be able to fight a little bit. He certainly can't box. But these allegations against Gervonta Davis, they're very serious allegations. Anybody that's laying hands on women needs to be shut down straight away. They need to be locked up in the key front.
Former world champion Amir Khan also blasted the matchup, labeling it a dangerous and unfair mismatch. Khan argued that Jake's size advantage, reportedly over 200 pounds compared to Davis' career-high 140, made the bout reckless and exploitative. He questioned why promoters would even consider such an uneven pairing, calling it torture rather than competition. Khan speculated that Davis might simply be looking for a big payday before stepping away from boxing altogether.
Paul, he gets on my nerves a little bit. I think the way he conducts himself, the way he acts, and I think he's just full of himself as well. And he thinks he can fight. And he's only been boxing for what, like a year. But he's been very lucky though. He has he's had some good wins against like MMA fighters. He's a little bit heavier than me, but I don't mind putting the...
Despite everything some fans and commentators have questioned whether the cancellation was truly necessary, they note that many athletes in other sports have continued competing while facing legal issues. To them, Davis remains physically ready, and the fight could have gone on. They suspect the decision was more about public image, corporate reputation, and sponsor pressure than genuine concern for safety or ethics. Others counter that the severity of the allegations made proceeding impossible, warning that moving forward could have sparked immense backlash and damaged everyone involved, from promoters to networks to the sport itself.
So, did Gervonta Davis's cancellation of his fight with Jake Paul, was it the right decision from Jake Paul, his team, and Netflix? Did they make the right move to cancel the Gervonta Davis fight? I want to know y'all thoughts in the comment section. We'll probably do a longer video on this later, but I want y'all to interact and let me know y'all thoughts. Now that we know the fight is canceled, they announced it late yesterday while we were in the middle of our live stream. What is your thoughts? Do you think the fight should have been canceled? Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll see y'all.
That's for today. Video subscribe for more.